I'm Erin with 5 Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is a yoga class for swimmers. And of course, and as always, if you're not a swimmer, you can absolutely benefit from this yoga class. It just focuses in on certain areas of the body. This class is going to include a little bit of strengthening, but mostly it's going to focus on stretching. So that said, a little shout out to my favorite swim teams, the Hurricanes, the Mustangs, and the Piranhas. I hope you guys enjoy this class, and a thank you also to my Patreon supporters and my subscribers. If you are interested in joining me on a yoga retreat, please check out my website for more details. All right, so today we are going to actually start lying down on our stomachs. So go ahead and come down onto your stomach and bring your arms alongside your body and bring your right cheek, right ear, right side onto your mat and close your eyes. So this is a gentle passive stretch for your neck. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Start with a cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. 2 more breaths. Now keep your body just as it is and switch sides. So you're going to bring your left ear and left cheek to your mat, look to the right, close your eyes, feel this nice gentle passive stretch for your neck. Keep your shoulders away from your ears for 3 breaths. Complete this exhale, and then go ahead and stack your hands right below your forehead. So one hand on top of the other, and place your head straight down. So relax your forehead down onto your hands. Again, relax your shoulders. You're going to keep your left leg soft and long and heavy on your mat, so no activity in your left leg, and then begin to bring activity into your right leg. So start to point your toe, engage your quadricep, lift your knee up off the mat, and then again, with no activity in your left leg, just isolating your right leg and lower back, lift your your right leg up off the floor, press through your toes, extend it long, hold here. And release. All right, so no activity in your right leg. It's just heavy, lying on your mat. Start to bring activity into your left leg. So point your toes, lift your knee up off the mat, engaging your quadricep, and then lift your left leg up off the mat. Right leg is heavy. Press through the ball of your foot. Hold here. Release. Okay, both legs now. So tighten up both legs. Keep your head heavy on your hands, and then lift both legs up off the floor. Press through your toes. Extend your legs nice and long. And release. Okay, from here, you're going to bend your left leg, come up onto your right forearm, and reach your left hand around for the inside of your foot, and then just start to draw your heel in. You can look forward, get getting a nice stretch for your left quadricep. Okay, and release, and you're gonna switch sides. So bring your left forearm onto your mat, bend your right leg, reach your right hand around for the inside of your right foot. Start to draw your heel in. You can look forward and just feel the stretch in your right quadricep. Okay, now release your foot back down onto the floor. Bring your forehead back down onto your mat. Bend both legs now. Now, instead of reaching for the insides of your feet, you're gonna reach for the outsides of your feet. So take hold, your left foot with your left hand, your right foot with your right hand. Go ahead and start to kick your feet into your hands. Your chest is gonna lift up off the floor. You can stay here with your thighs on the floor, or you can kick a little bit harder and lift your thighs up off the floor. Open your chest, open your throat. Get a beautiful stretch in your shoulders and your quads. One more little kick of your feet into your hands and release. Now bring your hands underneath your shoulders, feet flat to the floor, forehead back down onto your mat. On your next breath in, lift up to cobra pose. So draw your elbows in and back, lift your chest up off the floor, a little bit of weight in your hands, and then release. And again, peel your chest up off the floor and release. Last time, peel your chest up off the floor, hold here. Now lift your hands up off the floor. Draw your elbows in and back, squeezing your upper back. Lift your feet up off the floor, optional. Good, and release. And now to stretch out the back, come into child's pose. So just press into your hands, bring your hips all the way back to your heels, knees wide, toes touch. Walk your hands forward, rest your forehead down. Take 3 deep breaths here. Okay, to stretch the back of your shoulder, keep your right arm extended and slide your left arm underneath your right. Come onto your left ear, feel the stretch in the back of your left shoulder. Breathe. And switch sides. So extend your left arm long, slide your right arm underneath your left, come onto your right shoulder and your right ear. Feel the stretch in the back of your right shoulder. Extend your right arm long. Now you're going to keep your elbows on the floor. Bring the palms of your hands to touch. This is a stretch for your triceps, and you're continuing to stretch out your hips and your low back as well. You're going to bring your thumbs now to the back of your head. So feel that stretch in your triceps, the backs of your upper arms. Breathe deeply here. Extend your arms long again, so back to extended child's pose. Press up, we'll give the hips a little bit of a break here. Press up to tabletop position. And then from tabletop position, You're just gonna extend your right leg back, tuck your toes under, press back through your heel, get a little stretch there in your calf, feel the blood coming back into your knee, your calf, your hip, and then switch sides. So extend your left leg back, tuck your toes, press back through your left heel. Okay, now come back into a tabletop position so that your shoulders are over your wrists and your hips are over your knees. And we're gonna take some cats and some cows to stretch the chest and the upper back. So as you breathe in, just drop your belly down, lift your tailbone and start to lift through the crown of your head. Feel the stretch along the front of your body. Now as you breathe out, you're gonna round your upper back, kind of like a Halloween cat. Look toward your belly button, stretch through your neck, hold here. Just feel that stretch in your upper back, and then start to just go back and forth, moving with your breath at a slow, rhythmic pace. Breathing in, coming to cow pose, breathing out, coming to cat. Take one more of each pose. So one more cat, nice and slow. One more cow. And then come back to a neutral tabletop position. From here, extend your right leg straight out behind you. Flex your toes so they're facing down to the floor. And then you're gonna bring your right leg across your body. Set it down on the floor with your toes still tucked. Go ahead and start to bump your hips to the right and then look out toward your right toes. So you're looking over your left shoulder. Feel the stretch in your right side. And then come back and switch sides. So extend your left leg straight out behind you. Flex your toes so they're facing down toward the floor. Cross over, set your foot down, keep your toes tucked. Now bump your hips to the left. It's not a big movement, but start to look over your right shoulder toward your left toes. Feel that stretch in your left side. And then come back to tabletop position. We're gonna do one more really, really deep stretch for the shoulders from this position. So from your tabletop with your hips stacked over your knees. So this is different than child's pose. It's called heart melting pose. So don't move your hips from where they are in position to your knees. Walk your hands forward a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart and start to sink your chest and your chin down toward the floor. Walk your hands back up so you're back into a tabletop position. And from your tabletop position, tuck your toes under and come into downward dog pose. So lifting your hips high, releasing your heels down, and then just take a few moments in your downward facing dog. You can bend and straighten one leg at a time. This is a great full body stretch. So feel the stretch in your hamstrings, your calves, your Achilles tendons. Feel the stretch in your shoulders. Shake your head out so you're not holding any tension in your neck, but spread your fingers nice and wide, staying active in your hands. Okay, from this downward facing dog position, you're gonna lift both heels high. You're gonna keep your toes tucked the entire time, and you're gonna come through to a high cobra pose with your toes tucked. So look past your hands, just make your way forward. Open your chest, Feel the whole front of your body opening, and then press back, downward facing dog. Activating a little core strength there. Take a breath. And let's do it again. So lift your heels, just make your way forward. High cobra with your toes tucked, and then press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then one last time, look past your hands, come forward, high cobra with toes tucked, back to down dog. Begin to walk your feet forward to the front of your mat, bend your legs a lot. Come into ragdoll pose, taking opposite hand to opposite elbow, letting your body dangle here. You can sway side to side if that feels good. Again, a generous bend in your knees so that your torso is resting on your thighs. And the focus is not on the hamstrings, but instead the length of your spine, the space you're creating, just letting your head dangle. And if you're swaying side to side, come back to neutral. Release your hands down onto your mat. And nice and slow, we're actually gonna roll up to a stand. You can just let your arms be really heavy. And your head will be the last thing that arrives when you come to a stand. And then go ahead and find a nice strong mountain pose. So spread your toes wide, just activate through your legs, roll your shoulders down away from your ears, palms face out, fingers face down, arms are engaged, crown of your head is reaching up. On your next breath in, lift your arms up. As you breathe out, cactus your arms. Breathe in, tall mountain. Breathe out, cactus your arms. Tall mountain. And one more time. Draw your elbows down, just stretch and open through your chest and shoulders. Breathe in, tall mountain. Now you're gonna encircle your left wrist with your right hand, okay? So take a nice strong grip on your left hand, and you're gonna side bend to the left. So feel that stretch all the way down from your fingertips down toward your left foot, keeping your shoulder in line with your hips and your core engaged so you're not collapsing into it. Stay strong, stay lifted. Come back to center and switch sides. So encircle your right wrist with your left hand and start to side bend to the left. Come all the way back up. Reach your arms up overhead. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. For chest expansion here, you're gonna start to press your fists down. Maybe lift your gaze up. And then with a generous bend in your knees, you're gonna come into a forward fold with chest expansion. So you can bend your legs, reach your arms up and over the back of your head. Once again, check in that you don't have any tension that you're holding on to in your neck or your shoulders. You should be able to wobble your head around. One more breath here. All right, release your hands down to the floor. Place your hands either on the floor or on your shins. As you breathe in, you're gonna begin to straighten your legs a little bit more. It doesn't need to be a lot, and come into a flat back position. Okay, so your legs can be bent if you need, but I want your back flat so your head is in line with your spine. And then come into forward fold, maybe working a little bit more in the direction of straight, so you're stretching your hamstrings here. Halfway lift again. Forward fold. And again, lift up halfway. and forward fold. Okay, now from here, you're gonna heel toe your feet out to the edge of your mat or a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're gonna stretch out the hips and the low back in a low squat. So you're gonna come all the way down into a low squat. If this feels like too much, you do have a mat or a prop, you can always lift your heels up if that feels more supportive. If you have a block, you might not have these props at home, but that's fine. This is just an option. You can even set your hips on your block. Wherever you are, I want you to feel a stretch in your hips without any pain, okay? It might feel a little uncomfortable if you're tight, but if it hurts, make an adjustment, make a modification. This pose is really good for your body, releasing a lot of tension that we hold on to in the hips. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. You can connect the palms of your hands at heart center, lengthen through the crown of your head. If you want, you can close your eyes and focus on deep breathing through any discomfort that you're feeling. No pain, maybe discomfort. Two more breaths. All right, place your hands on the floor if they're not already. You're gonna slowly come up to a dangle with wide legs. Okay, so keep your legs loose and kind of start to sway side to side, releasing all that tension. Feel the blood flowing back into your legs, into your hips. All right, now plant your hands on your mat, step back to a high plank pose. Hold your high plank for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Keep your feet at hip distance apart. You're gonna bring your arms wide. You're gonna tent your fingers on the floor. Elbows are slightly bent. You might need to make an adjustment as you come into this pose. You're gonna press into your fingertips, lift your chest up off the floor. So this takes a little strength in the arms, a little strength in the back. And now we're gonna bring it into a nice big shoulder stretch. So from here, you're gonna dip your left shoulder in, look to the right. So you'll sink down a little bit, still active in your arms, stretching through your chest and shoulder. Come back through center, look to the left. So feel that stretch in the front of your right shoulder. Come back to center, lower part way down, so not all the way down. Now, another chest expansion like we took on our feet. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Your arms might be really bent like this. That's fine. You're just gonna work them in the direction of straight as you lift your chest up off the floor. And maybe if you want to, lift your feet up off the floor. And release. So we're going to take another variation of the pose we just did that's a little more relaxing now. So you're going to take your right arm, extend it straight out to the side, palm faces down. Take your left hand underneath your left shoulder. You're going to bring your right ear onto your mat, relax your head. Bring your left leg up and over and stamp it on the floor. Okay, so just move your right arm around so that you feel the maximum stretch in the front of your right shoulder and your chest. Come back through center and we'll switch sides. So you're gonna bring your left arm straight out to the left, palm faces down. Right hand underneath your right shoulder. You're gonna roll toward your left arm. Place your left ear on the floor. Right leg comes up and over and stamps down on the floor. You can move your left arm around so that you feel the maximum stretch for your body. And then come back to center, and you're just gonna press your way up onto your shins. We're gonna take a really deep quadricep stretch, so a stretch for the fronts of your legs. And if you have really tight quadriceps and have a block, or if you don't have a block, you might have books, you can use this. I'll show you how to use it. But for this posture, you're gonna bring your knees together. You're gonna separate your feet and sit your hips between your heels. So this might be just a big stretch for you, might be good enough right here. Again, if that's too much, you can sit on something. Just as long, again, as you're feeling a stretch, but no pain, maybe a little discomfort as you stretch out. If you have really open quadriceps and you want to go more, this is called hero pose. If you want to go deeper into hero pose, you can take a reclined hero pose. So you can start walking your hands back, staying upright on your forearms, or you can come all the way down onto your back, or you can reach your arms up overhead. This is all gonna depend on just the openness of your quadriceps today. So if you're tired, you're really tight, just stay seated or stay on a block. I'm gonna come back, but if you're reclined, you can hold it. We'll just hold it for a couple more breaths wherever you are. If you're reclined, go ahead and make your way all the way back up. And then we're all gonna come up onto our shins for one more chest opening back bend. If you need to just kind of give your feet a little kick out behind you like we did at the beginning of class, feel free to do that. Just feel all that nice oxygenated blood coming into your knees and your joints. All right, so come up onto your shins. We're gonna take camel pose. So again, you can take it to the depth that is available to you. Take your hips right over your knees and then just lift your chest. Imagine there's a string coming out of your chest up toward the ceiling. So you want to stay lifted the whole time. You can take your hands into your back pockets. So imagine that you're putting them into your back pockets, fingers face down. You're going to start to just slightly press your hips forward. So you're getting a nice hip flexor opener. And then lift your chest, lift your chin, look up. Okay, you can stay here, or if you want to take it deeper, you can start to reach for your heels. Look back. And then come all the way back up. So your hips down on your heels, place your hands on your thighs, close your eyes. Just feel the beating of your heart, steady your breath. And go ahead and cross your ankles, come to seated, and take a couple more seated hip stretches. So one that we should all be familiar with, butterfly pose, we'll do first. Soles of your feet come together. You can scoot your heels in as far as they'll come. Take hold of your ankles with your hands. You're gonna hinge from your hips. Elbows are gonna come toward your knees. And you're gonna reach the crown of your head forward. Great for your low back, great for your hips, great for your inner thighs. And if you look like this today, That's absolutely fine. You're just gonna start to slowly and gradually come a little bit deeper, working with your breath, working with your body. Okay, and another variation of this pose that accesses a different part of the hips and glutes is called diamond pose. So you're gonna keep the soles of your feet together and you're gonna bring them out now. So now your legs make the shape of a diamond. Again, you'll take your hands toward your ankles and your elbows toward your knees. If you're like this, that's fine. Just start to slowly and gradually press your knees down, come forward. Notice the difference in the stretch between butterfly and diamond in your hips and glutes. It's pretty noticeable to me. Come all the way back up. And last but not least, for our seated postures, we're gonna come into seated forward fold. So seated forward fold is a stretch for the backs of your legs. In seated forward fold, you wanna keep your legs active, your toes pointing up in line with your heels, even if that means that you're here. Okay, if your hamstrings are really tight, or here, or making your way forward. Again, just depending on where your hamstrings are today. So come to the edge of your stretch. No pain, maybe a little discomfort. Hold here, letting your body open up. Release down onto your back. We'll take a couple stretches on our back before we close up our practice. So another great front body opener and hip flexor opener is bridge pose. So bring your feet in, feet flat to the floor, heels as far in as you can, arms alongside your body, palms facing down. Press firmly into your feet as you lift your hips up. So this is called bridge pose. Keep your chin away from your chest. You don't want to be tucking it in. Keep lifting. And then you can take chest expansion one more time during this class if you want, by interlacing your hands underneath your low back and then rolling one shoulder at a time, lifting a little bit higher, chin away from chest. Now, holding here, engage your glutes. So really tight glutes, lifting a little bit higher. Now hold here. See if you can hold this position and then relax your glutes. It takes the strength a little bit more into your low back. Just, it's not better or worse, it's just different. So notice that and then engage your glutes again. Release your glutes, just notice the difference. What muscles get activated. And then lower down. We're gonna take reclined pigeon pose, which is an excellent hip stretch. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Take your hands around the back of your left thigh. So lifting your left foot up off the floor. You can hold here, or you can hold onto your shin. Flex your feet back. Keep your shoulders relaxed down. Keep your breath flowing smoothly in and out through your nose as you stretch your hips and glutes in reclined pigeon pose. Switch sides. Uncross your ankles. Left ankle over right knee. Hands around the back of your right thigh, lifting your right foot up off the floor. Maybe hands around your right shin. Toes flexed to stay in line with your heels. Shoulders relaxed on the floor. Breathe in and out through your nose. release, uncross your ankle. Let's take a twist. So draw your knees in, release them to the left. You can bring your arms to goalpost or T. You can bring your hand onto your knee. You can separate, stagger your legs, whatever feels good. Deep breaths into your belly. Back through center and switch sides. Knees to the right. Any variation that you'd like. Just breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Come back through center, hug your knees into your chest. One final tight squeeze. And then our final posture of class, Shavasana, an opportunity for you to completely relax your body, release all tension, all tightness. So let your feet fall open, arms rest alongside your body, toes are soft, fingers are soft, eyes gently close, relax your jaw. Breathe in through your nose, hold it. Let it go through your mouth. Back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Just notice how your body feels after this yoga class. Stretching and opening. Try and relax even deeper into this posture, being completely heavy. If you have the time, please enjoy your Shavasana for even longer. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.